Proverbs 2:10. Ki tavo chokhmah velivecha, v'da'at lenafshecha yin'am. In verse 10, we begin with ki here, translated as for. So we're getting a ground clause here. So if you remember from verse 9, there's going to be understanding of righteousness and justice and equity or rightness on every good path, every good wagon track. Why is that going to be the case? Because for wisdom, here serving as the subject, will enter in your, there's that to ms pronominal suffix, in your heart. So let's look at a couple of things here. The verb we have here is a third feminine singular. It's a call imperfect. Notice with the call, we have the A to O, preformative vowel, thematic vowel pairing. So this is the call, not a hiphil. Even though we have the A preformative, not a hiphil, we've got a call, and it will enter. Third feminine singular verb, third feminine singular, is because we have the subject here as chokhmah, that is also feminine singular. Now, let me review this real quick. And these videos on the weekends are a little bit longer. We can review a very wide range of things, but you're hearing me say chokhmah. Now, you probably know this from your vocabulary card, that the symbol here is a short kametz hatuf, or that short O vowel. But the way I teach this is when students are learning these vowel symbols, we indicate that if the T symbol that we see here is in a closed and unaccented syllable, then it is that short O. And so if you look at the syllable division here, the accent falls down here, so this silent schwa makes this indeed a closed and unaccented syllable. Now, what I also teach is a closed and unaccented syllable requires a short vowel, and so this rule of Hebrew syllables is why we know that that symbol is the short O. So again, just something very basic, I think, but can kind of give you a good indicator on when that kametz symbol or that T symbol is a short O kametz hatuf. Here's one of them right there, chokhmah, chokhmah. So wisdom, it will enter, third feminine singular, it will enter into your heart. Another little element here that's interesting, if you look in Deuteronomy 6:5, you actually get levavecha, and you get two baits here, and so you might know lev or levav for heart, but notice we get the dagesh in this word with the suffix, and that's indicative of an original root that would have two baits in it, levavecha or libecha, something like what we see here. So again, some morphology things there that help you know you're looking at words you already know. It's just a matter of what form are they in. Do they have the two consonants, or do they have the dagesh as we see it here? So for wisdom will come into your heart. In the next line, we get and knowledge. Notice the parallelism here between wisdom and knowledge. And wisdom to your soul, nefesh, to ms suffix there, to your soul, it will be pleasant. Now here we have a call imperfect third masculine singular. The verbal root is na'am, to be pleasant or to be delightful. And what we have here is knowledge is that thing which will be delightful. Now, Andrew Steinman comments in his textual commentary in the Concordia commentary series that we have a feminine singular noun, da'at, with a third masculine singular verb, and then he refers to Juan Morioka, section 150K, and also Gesenius, section 145U, as just this preference for masculine verbs as a more common form. So nothing really to think about there other than just to notice it and then see that other grammarians have noticed it too. So there you go. And knowledge to your soul, it will be pleasant. Now, the thing that I want to point out here is kind of the concept of the internalization of wisdom into your heart, and then also knowledge, these things that, again, if you go back to the beginning of Proverbs, that the book of Proverbs is trying to give you wisdom and knowledge. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, Proverbs 1:7. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, Proverbs 9:10. And then we get here, notice, the internalization of wisdom, but also notice the pleasantness of knowledge to your soul. And this doesn't say anything necessarily about your circumstances or life or how easy life will be or how pleasant life will be, but wisdom and knowledge, these things that God provides when we fear Him, it brings about a delight and a contentment in our souls that sometimes we can't explain. And it's not so much that we have, a working intellect of life and how it functions that then gets played out in an applied wisdom in life and how it functions. But if we think about both of these terms, wisdom and knowledge, as being rooted in the fear of the Lord, I would argue, and I think I might have done this in previous videos, that this fear of the Lord has a whole lot to do with our affections and our delight and our joys in God than it does a true, terror or fear of the Lord. And so I think that's kind of what Proverbs is continuing to get at here. You will understand righteousness and justice because wisdom, this fear of the Lord, will enter into your soul, into your heart, and the knowledge of God and His ways and how the world works and His statutes and His commandments, these things will all be pleasant to your soul. And so I just want to point out that internalized aspect of wisdom and knowledge here. It's not just for the outward display or outward application of knowledge. There actually is soul and heart benefit here.